Welcome to Under the Sun podcast. I'm Ilea.
And I'm Irene. Grab a cup of coffee and your comfiest sweats and join us every Monday as two best friends discuss everything from raising free-range gremlins to business and really everything under the sun.
Let's get started, and thanks for being here.
We should just let this roll because I bet some listeners would. Welcome. We didn't say hello.
Are we doing this?
We're just going to go while we write because this is a good story for... Either people can feel not alone or people can give me some advice because I had a 2-hour color cancellation yesterday.
Okay.
So I went to the Soma store, which I've read on a bunch of blogs or a bunch of like posts and comments that it's really good for sizing your bra postpartum. So I went and then tried on a couple of bras and it's just like nothing. I've been in a nursing bra for 5 years and I've not nursed anyone in like a year and a couple months. And they just didn't fit, like nothing fit. And it's the one where it's either there's like skin spilling over or there's just a gap and there was no in-between size. And then I found like the bralettes, they actually have padded, which I was going to tell you, they're on sale this weekend. Oh, okay. Still expensive, but if I'm going to buy a bra, I'd rather buy a good one and have it last. But, the bralettes were really comfortable. They actually had padding. They had, I'm in a nursing bra now, so they have just as much, maybe a little more support than what I'm already wearing. But then I was in a dress when I went to try it on. So then like to try on a bra, I'm like fully naked. And then I was just like about to start my periods. It was just over emotional. And I'm like, nothing fits my boobs, my stomach. And then you know how you just get. Shoot. And fitting rooms would make a lot more money if they didn't have fluorescence overhead.
Yeah, white. Like,
because you're like green, the shadows are hitting in the worst places. And I just went home
They would make
sad.
so much money if they would just invest in lighting.
Yes. So instead of me not buying anything and going home and crying, which is hormonal, but like, you know, when you just have new boobs, nothing fits them. See, I feel like you're either not alone or help me find a bra that fits my weird skin boobs.
What do you mean skin boobs?
Like just a lot of skin.
Yeah. But like you have mass to it.
They kind of, but there's still a lot of skin. Which is fine. It's fine.
No mass and just skin left. Like,
yeah. I mean, I nursed 2 children to 2 years old all the way through pregnancy. So I'm proud of myself. But then when you look in the mirror and you're PMSy, you just want to cry a little.
Then this is the video of what do you mean motherhood is hard.
Okay.
This is the video. Because it can be both and. It can be both. Like I was telling Dave, because like, listen, if you're a man listening to this is not the conversation for you. But I was telling...
Or is it? And maybe learn how your wife is feeling.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, I don't know why. I'm very insecure about, like, my right boob is so much bigger than my left boob since having Leo and nursing her. And I'm like, and my right boob was the high producer, of milk than the other. And I was like, there's a drastic size difference. And I was like, I recognize, like, I am very impressed with my body. Like, I grew a human for 10 months.
Yeah.
I, like, labored a hard, like, I mean, every labor is hard, but, like, it was a hard time getting her out. I've nursed her for 2 years. I can recognize that, like, that is incredible, and I'm very proud of my body, and that gives me a confidence like no other, but also recognize that, like, oh, I kind of miss my...
Yeah.
Like, I could not wear a bra and nobody really noticed. I'm like, why did we not hear? And also, like, I've been trying to grow my hair out, and the target moved. Damn it. Yeah.
But it's twofold. Yeah, there's no reason. And as I was like driving home, I was like, there's no reason you should be crying. But then like, I'm still a girl who looks in the mirror. Mm-hmm. My husband has no problem with my body, but beautiful. I'm like, it's just that time. I don't know. I don't know. Bras are hard. I'm also still kind of crampy, so I might cry.
Aww.
But I'm good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Bras postpartum are awful.
Yeah. I just bought like a really cheap multi-pack, like honestly my first non-nursing bra since having Leo, because I got rid of all my other ones because they didn't fit my like gargantuan boobs.
What's really sad is they're still in my drawer because I'm like, one day they will never fit again.
Just get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
But I just brought like a 2-pack from Ross, and the left one fits perfectly, but the right one has spillage. And I'm like, but I don't want to spend the money right now. I'm like,
I went to spend them. I was going to spend $70 and I still had like, I put my dress back on and you could see the dress getting tucked in it, or it was popping out and you could see like my skin. So I'm like, well,
somebody needs to make like custom.
Yeah.
Like this one's a 34, this one's a 34 and a half or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the 34 is this, isn't it?
The cup size.
C. It's a C, C and a half.
Yeah.
C flat.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I saw this reel of a girl saying, what do you guys mean that marriage is hard? And then I don't know if my brain I've just watched so many reels that my brain is mush, or if someone made a reel on that same note and said like, okay, what about what do you mean motherhood is hard?
Yeah.
So
we could hit on the marriage one too. Might piss a lot of people off. But
maybe we should make that a whole separate episode.
Okay. Because I showed that reel to Jacob and he had thoughts. But
I mean, there's lots of duets to it, or like responses to it. So I'm not sure. Did I send it to you? I'm not sure which one.
I think you just sent me the one where there were shoes. Like all the shoes were lined up and the husbands were just kicked in the corner.
Yeah, that's annoying to me. That's annoying to me. Because I'm like a little like, and Dave and I have had this conversation. This is nothing he has not heard, but like we have laundry baskets everywhere because like I don't want to go around and like pick them off everything.
Because then your ground is cluttered.
Yeah, the ground is cluttered. And so we've had that conversation. Doesn't do it anymore. But I'm like, if I'm going to do your laundry, bro. Yeah. You got to make it convenient for me.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. He was willing to listen. Not a lot of guys are willing to listen. Like
it took a while.
You have to have compromise a little bit on both ends.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah, because I'm not easy to live with either. Like I people always label it ADHD. I think I'm easily distracted. It doesn't matter. Like I'm easily distracted because I have so many like running to-do lists in my mind. I'm like, I need to start the dishes. But if I'm going to start the dishes, I need to start the laundry so that that's going at the same time. So I feel double productive. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, Leo needs a snack. And then cause she's like ravenous. Like she's going through a growth spurt.
Like crazy.
And so she'll wake up at 7-ish, 7:30, eat. And then by like 9:30, she wants another snack. And then like before she goes down for bed, I'm like, girl, I get why people do package stuff. Yeah. This is a lot of work. Yeah. But anyways, what was I saying? I get distracted easy. Yeah. Anyways, so motherhood. What do you mean? What do people mean when they say motherhood is hard? What does that mean to you?
For me, it means I have to feed these things healthy meals 3 times a day. And on a good day. I didn't get the I love to cook, this is fun gene. My mom loves to cook. Loves to work in the kitchen. Like I can think of so many other things I can do. Like my poor family, I could eat ground beef for the rest of my life and not think twice. Like just ground some beef. And occasionally Jacob's been like, hey, can we please just eat something that's not ground beef with a spoon? I'm like, it's good. It's grass-fed ground beef. Just eat your beef and go about your day. And now he's on the carnivore sort of modified diet. So now it's fine. But for years he's like, it's just ground beef. And I'm like, I'll throw some salsa on it. So
you've been carnivore way before lots of people were carnivore.
My poor kids. But my kids like ground beef too. So I don't know. Just the variety.
Well, you also now have like farm fresh eggs, which you should take some home with you tonight.
Okay. Because I think they just ate the last of them today.
They're so good hard boiled.
Yeah, they are. I have not shared those with my family.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, for me it's that...
Wait, you might have something in this tooth.
Or keeping this in. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I definitely did. Thanks. For me, it's that, people always say things change after you have a kid, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, when you're working in the garden, you just take the kid with you. And that's totally true. I do that, but it absolutely changes how it looks. Yeah. Meaning when I'm out there, she's a kid. She wants to get in everything I'm doing. So if I'm planting a row of beans or whatever, broccoli, she wants to help plant the seeds, but the seeds are definitely going to be not, perfectly 12 inches apart. She's going to step on things. She's going to, cry because she fell down. She's going to just do things because she's a kid and she's experiencing life. And so for me, it's been, that's the difference. And also managing my expectations of what the day is actually going to, can contain. That's been hard for me is I used to be very productive. Today I'm going to do this. And I would mostly the time get that done. But now with a child, it's you kind of just have to go off their whims. Okay, how self-sufficient are you today? There's some days where Leo is so great at entertaining herself, and I can get lots of stuff done. And there's some days where she's like, "Oh, Mom, please," and I'm like, I don't do well with whining. Yeah. So I'm trying to, that's the hard part. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Your day is your own. Cause like, I'm blessed that like, there's nothing really there's things I have to do, but like Dave's not going to come home and be like, oh my gosh, the house is a mess. But like, also it's that like your time is not your own.
Yeah.
So,
mine is doing things slower.
Yeah.
Because you've seen my Walmart walk. I have only in my life ever met one person who can walk faster than me in Walmart. And I was
it me?
No, it was Ashley's mom.
Don't look at me like that.
It's because I'm little and I can zip a lot faster than you tall people.
I just have long legs. I can like, for every 30 steps you have, I have like.
But no, I was like out of breath one time following her in Walmart. I'm like, oh, I'm impressed. Wait for me. But
maybe people don't know what a Walmart walk is. Can you?
So one time, it's walking really fast to get in and out of the store as quickly as humanly possible. One time, when I was in cosmetology school, I got to school the next day and one of the girls was like, I saw you in Walmart yesterday. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, great. What did I look like? Whatever. But she goes, why were you running? I wasn't running. But okay.
Why were you running?
She was genuinely asking. I was like, I don't think I was running, but all right. So,
that's funny.
Yeah, that's Walmart walk.
Okay, sorry. But like slowing things down.
And being intentional about taking the kids to the grocery store, which the easy thing is to say, I'm just going to go without you really fast. Which sometimes you have to for your own sanity. But the better mom thing is to slow down, let the kids go with you, let them see you make better choices, or let them see you buy ice cream because it's mom day and it's going to be fun and let's go get some ice cream. But letting them put the money in.
Yeah.
But then my grocery store trips take me like an hour and a half. Then I leave and then I always make pizza after because I'm like so drained from running them around the store that it's like, okay, pizza it is.
Yeah. I remember when you had Riker, I didn't have Leo. And I remember just thinking like, or being like, hey, like, let's go do this thing. Let's go to Target and just walk around. And you being like, I don't have the energy to do that. I'm like, it's not that energy. Let's put the kid in the car seat.
Walk around Target.
Like drive there, take the car seat out, put it in the car, and we'll walk around. Like that's not that much. But it is. It's different because for every mom that's in a store, you're thinking, okay, when are they going to get hungry? And then they're going to be past the point of hunger where they're going to be like a monster or like, looking out for your surroundings for safety wise.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff happening at once.
There's just like a lot going on in your brain, like the actual list of the things that you're going to get, what's happening, like what things are happening at home that you need to do or things at the business that you need to do. Like, it's not as simple as just going to the store. So like, that's something I'd never understood until I had a kid. And then now we kind of live far from the grocery store. So it's like a 20-minute drive to the grocery store. So I'm like,
it's all the way over there.
Yeah. And like Leo, thankfully still like naps. So it's like, we either have to go early enough in the morning after her food to then get to the grocery store, do the things for her to like still be in a good mood and not like overtired by the time we get home.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting things. It's like, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
But it's hard in that sense of like kind of everything takes forever. And then you have to you kind of just stop thinking about yourself a little bit. You're like, okay, this isn't about me. This is about how do I get this kid in and out of the store safely, get the things I need. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't. I saw a reel the other day and it had something to do with the amount of time it takes toddlers to put their shoes on and yelling. And it like got me because I've gotten to where I'm like put your shoes on, but because they're at the ages where like they don't want help, and it's the tongue is crooked, it's on the wrong foot, and I'm like, we have to go, we are gonna be late. Where Jacob's better at being like, okay, so we're late, who cares? And I'm like, we're late to everything, let's go.
Yeah.
But I wish I could remember that reel because we could put it in here. But it was a good one to remind me like, hey, she's only 3, she's independent, good for her.
Yeah.
Put your shoes on before I yell.
I think there's balance though, isn't there? Because like
there has to be.
Sometimes it's like, yes, like sweetie, we're going somewhere that is insignificant. Yeah, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of life. Take as long as you want. But there's also like teaching them that like being punctual is respectful as well. Like is a good trait to have.
Yeah. Other people's time is valuable.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Yeah. But there's like, what's her name? Teresa Romero? Is
something.
I always get it wrong. Tessa Romero?
I think.
T. Romero. She has like a positive, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, but like your kids aren't giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time. I mean, sometimes kids are little turd buckets, but like,
yeah.
Like anytime Leo's been like, I went to go do this podcast. She was like, no, mommy. And I'm like, she's a little sick right now. So it's that, but I'm like, she's not doing it because mom finally has a time where she can go podcast with her friend and do the thing separate. It's just, we are their everything. Like even more so than dad. Because there's like this spiritual bond that we don't even understand, So yeah.
Those kids.
They're great.
They are cute.
Honestly, like it's so funny because like, it's like I would never change it, but it does change things. It does.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts that you have?
Probably. Let me think. How long was that?
This is only 19 minutes.
Goodness.
And that was a couple minutes of us doing
nothing,
stuff. So I have one I can go if you want.
Yeah, go for it. Because I had one, it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, when you're pregnant and everyone's like, oh yeah, get your sleep now while you can. It's like, that's not going to serve any purpose after the fact. No.
Your sleep is not long-term banking.
Yeah.
It's day by day.
Get out of here. Also, way to discourage parents. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. But like Leo slept great for like the first year. I would say like her not as good of sleep, air quote good, like because that's all relative in a child's world, but kind of came in this second year, and it's like it's hard. Like motherhood is hard because you have to care even when you're in the dead of REM sleep and your kid is crying, and it's not like a whiny, I'm so sad cry. It's like a, oh my gosh, my life is ending, somebody help me. And so it's hard because like you have to show up even when you don't want to. When you're sick, like I remember when we lived at the medium term rental, I had to like I was sick for like 2 weeks. It was over I think Mother's Day or Easter or something, and like I was sick, but I remember being like, oh crap, like Dave is working and I have no choice but to like, so I would like peel myself up off the bed or off the couch and like get whatever I could. Luckily Leo was just nursing, but it's still like to nurse when you're like sick is exhausting, but you just have to like, I think it's a beautiful thing actually that motherhood, you have to like come to the end of yourself frequently. Yeah. And actually like, it's like, okay, I'm capable of more than I thought. Yeah. There's also, I don't know if you've heard this, but I just heard it on a podcast, Alex Clark podcast, and she had a midwife on. And she mentioned that she's noticed through her midwifery career that each kid's labor is different. And it usually correlates to something, a demeanor within the child that is a lesson you needed to learn to prepare you for raising that child. So
I've heard it with, not in that terms, but I've heard your labor is a picture of their personality.
I don't know. Maybe those are congruent, but like, I was like, well, what did my labor teach me? It taught me that took a long time, like a patience basically. And also that like weakness is not a negative thing. Like I feel like when I broke down in my birth process, her birth process, that like that's actually when I made progress. And if I would have just freaking had a good cry 7 or 12 hours earlier, maybe she would have come out earlier. I think
her noggin would have dictated that no matter what.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
No, I think but you don't know until you've gone through labor.
Yeah.
Like,
do you feel like that's true though? That your labor taught you how to handle each kid a little bit, or like is a precursor to their personality?
Only in a way that Riker was born late on April Fool's Day, which is an arbitrary holiday, but like it's a holiday of jokes. Yeah. And he came out face up, so backwards. So, and he is a goofball who loves telling jokes, who he's just goofy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like loves to laugh, loves to make up joke. Bless that kid. He's in his joke making up phase and we laugh every time. And Nova came out barreling out in 30 minutes. No warning. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
And she just barrels her way through life. She runs at full speed anytime she gets out of the car. The only thing she does slowly is put her little shoes on, but I'm working on being patient.
Hey, nobody cares about this, but I bought Leo shoes. Didn't fit her, too big. So I was like, maybe they'll fit Nova. And then we just kind of like swap clothes and shoes. And so I'm like, if they fit great, but they're easy. So maybe they'll
they've been great.
Be faster.
Yeah. A lot of it is I'm trying to teach her it's good to be independent and it's good to do things by yourself, but it's also wrong to never accept help. Yeah. Especially when I'm trying to buckle your car seat. Yeah. And we're already late and just let me buckle it. But but then again, maybe it's just me pushing my we need to hurry-ness on her when homegirl's just learning how to buckle her own seatbelt. Maybe. Yeah, I don't. But yeah, she came in fast kind of as a surprise and she does things fast. She learned things fast. So only in that way can I like correlate their birth. Yeah. Can we go back to things not to say to mom? Do a spin-off? Oh, sure. Yeah, I love tangents. I was in the store with them the other day and they were just being kids, but Riker is too big for the seat and Kroger only has the one. Like Walmart will all sit him in the 2 bucket and we'll push him. So he had to walk and then she wanted to walk halfway through. So I let him walk and then it's like every 5 seconds I'm like, stay by my body, stay by my body. Then I hit Riker with the cart because it was heavy and he ran in front of me and then he stopped and I tried to pull back and it still got him. I was like, told you to stay by my body. Yep. And then a lady in line was like, you're going to miss this one day. And I know she meant it to be sweet. But there's got to be better wording, or at least to me. Maybe it's just me. If someone comes up and is like, "You're gonna miss this," I was like, "Yeah, I know. I already miss." And I think I said to her, "I was like, I already miss it. Like, but I still want to boot these kids across the aisle." Would it be more? Would it? I hate the term serve, but like, would it? I don't know what verbiage now to use, but like in a non-Libby way. This doesn't serve me or my agenda. Yeah. Anyways, would it be a better piece of verbiage to say, like, good work? That's like you're doing exactly what I was thinking, because I was already like, we're at the checkout, they're running around, I'm trying to make sure they're not bumping into this cashier who's on this side, and not going to run out, like a stranger's not going to run out the door. I'm trying to pay, all the mom tabs are open. And then it's like, you're going to miss this. I was like, I know. Like, I already missed I just spent the morning looking at their baby pictures. I already know I'm going to miss this. But it would have been, I think, nice to say, like, you're doing good. Yeah. Like, just to hear, not that I need to hear, I know I'm doing good. I'm their mother. But like, I know I'm going to miss it. Or it's like the memes that you see that are like, I think maybe it is that. Maybe it's that meme that's put that into my brain where it's like, oh, motherhood is hard. It's like, I didn't say I hate my kids. I said this is hard, Linda, or whatever the meme is. So it's like, I know I'm going to miss it, but they still need to stay by my body. It can be both. It can be both. And you can be like, damn, this is hard. Like, this is challenging. It's bringing me to the end of whatever, like, the end of myself of like, I'm not being very patient in this situation. I need to like, basically it's a big fat mirror of yourself of like how to show up for your family while also being like the best thing you've ever done. It can be both. It can be hard and also like you can look at them and then like want to squeeze them like a tube of toothpaste. Like it sometimes, do you ever grab Leo's head? Sometimes when they're like walking up the stairs in front of me, I'll just grab their little head and it's like, I could just squish your head. And then it's like, I push that head out of my body, but it's like the cutest shaped head. Yeah. And Jake's like, that is so weird. I'm like, well, that's what happened. Yeah. That little head, and I'll like grab their head and squish it. And he's like, stop doing that. I'm like, I birthed that head. Can't help it. Yeah. It's squish it. There's like weird hormonal thing. I don't think it's, maybe it's not hormonal, but like sometimes it's like, there's like a wave of like overwhelming love. It's like, I could just eat you. Like, I want to eat you. And then like, obviously there's times where it's like, okay, yep, that's from your dad's side of the family. But it's all good. Yes. It's so worth it. Mm-hmm. But we can also admit at the same time that like to take a shower by yourself would be pretty great. Like it can be both. Yes. Yeah. And I remember thinking and saying, like, I don't think I ever said it out loud. Let me circle back real quick. Okay. So if you see a mom in the grocery store. Yes. Just say, you're doing great. You're doing great. I always make it like
and tell me how you would react to this, because I mean, if Leo's like asleep on my chest or whatever it is, like she's behaving in the store, and I see a mom with like 3 or 4 kids. Like I ran into a girl at Costco that I used to work with way back when.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, you're doing the Lord's work. Like these kids look like they're like happy kids. Yeah. Like great.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, they're boys. And I'm like, boys are the best. And I try to not repeat, because sometimes it's really easy to be like, you have 4 boys, that's hard. Like that's probably a lot, like oh my gosh. But like she probably hears that all the time. But like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, 4 boys, that'd be fun. I'm sure that's rowdy. I'm sure that's like a lot. Coincidentally, she's neighbors with Ozba.
Oh, fun.
A friend of ours, Ozba, if you're listening.
What is happening?
But what was I gonna say? Shoot.
What you were gonna tell her, what?
But yeah, I just try to like, or if like if I'm carrying Leo and I see a mom like unloading her cart and like she's like trying to like walk back with all 4 kids, I'm like, let me just walk it back with mine. And I like tag it in. I'm like, I got you. Like I have one that is behaving right now or whatever. To kind of just look out. But
I would say if I really have to like think hard about it, part of saying like you're gonna miss this one day implies that my kids are acting like psychos in a roundabout way. Like I don't think she would have said, oh, you're going to miss this if they were just sitting in the cart behaving. But because they were ping-ponging off the basket and each other and hitting each other implies that, like, my kids are out of control, which is a weird... I don't know. I don't know why.
Is that, like, the perception you had? Or is that, like...
I don't know.
Were they out of control?
I mean, they were acting like out-of-control monsters, but...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but...
But also, like, just say you're doing a good job. And I would have said, thanks, I'm doing my best. Because at that moment, I was making sure they weren't going to get kidnapped, making sure I could find my debit card. Did I get all the stuff under the cart?
Right.
Are they going to, like, punch each other in the face right now? So, you're doing a good job. Would have been like, thanks. Okay, let me just go.
Because guess what? You're still doing a good job, even if your kids are manic.
Yeah.
Like, because kids just...
Sometimes they're crazy.
Also, grocery stores are filled with fluorescent lights.
Yep.
I swear, we just went to a thrift store. Irene and I, we actually had a girls' day-ish with both of our kids. We snuck a muffin.
Yes, we did. And my kids are front-facing, so you know how hard that is to
I need to post that to Instagram.
Yes.
If you're watching this, I'll post it to Instagram. Yeah. But like my kid is always feral in this one thrift store. She just like screams and cries, and I'm like, what is it about this freaking store that you always cry? Maybe it's because like my excitement. I'm like, oh, demons. Yeah. But it's... I don't know. I can't know how many times I can say it's a good thing. Yeah. Like motherhood is good, but it's hard.
Yeah. So it is hard, but it's good, which is what you just said. But like, I'm trying to think of the real. It's like, what do you mean motherhood is hard? It just is. But that doesn't mean it's not good.
But like, it's like with everything in life, you choose your hard. Yeah. It's hard to be a mom who's like loving, attentive, giving healthy meals, you know, trying to engage and, you know, give them experience. It's hard. Yeah. But it's also hard to not have kids. Because I remember when I didn't have kids and I wanted kids. And I remember being super jealous of all the moms. I mean, like, I want your life. Like, it's hard to long for something that you don't have. Yeah. It's also hard to, like, I know women who really sunk their teeth into the feminist movement and decided not to have kids, and I can see the longing in their eyes when they look at me and my daughter. Yeah. And so you choose your heart. It's hard to be a mom. It's hard not to be a mom. It's hard. Yeah. And it's different with dads, because Jake can take the kids to the store. He's like, oh, it's not hard at all. I'm like, that's because they listen to you. And he's like, well, how firm are you on disciplining them? I was like, well, I'm not going to pop them in a store because I don't feel like dealing with people and their opinions of how I discipline my children. But there was a scientific study years ago. I should try to find it. And there's a tone of a female's voice, not just mom's, but there's like a pitch or a tone of a female's voice that children just don't respond to. So it's like a kid needs a mother and a father. Yes. But they are scared of their dad. So if dad says, if you run over there, I'm going to kill you, they believe it. Yeah. And if I say, get over here or you're dead, they're going to run faster because they think we're joking. So, yeah. So there is a difference. But there's a balance too, because like you can just change the octave of your voice. Like there's like there are times like we're doing something, Leo's doing something in the chicken coop that she shouldn't. Yeah. And like I lower my tone, and I say, Leo, get right, like here right now. And I usually say, like, I don't know why, but whenever I say like make a good choice, she like comes. I don't know how she knows it, but I'm like, it's the tone. Make a good choice. And then she's like,
And I try to save those for like you're running in traffic. Because I remember my mom would say stuff to us, and I knew I had a few times before she really would start yelling. But I knew if something dangerous was happening, her voice was different. So I try to save my different voice for like a car's coming, stop immediately.
I want to know, like, we should have someone, maybe it's Erica, I don't know. We need to have someone on to talk about, like, because, like, that's not fair for one thing that, like, mothers bear the brunt of their kids' worst personality, like the worst part of the personality because, like, because is that a different study that you're talking about?
It's a different one, yeah.
There's a study that, like,
but we are safer for them.
Yeah. So, like, I want my kid to listen to me, but also it's okay if she listens to her dad more. Yeah. Because then there are sometimes I'm also like, listen to your dad. I'm not paying attention. You can do what you want.
Do you want me to call dad? No. And I'm like, okay, well
I threaten your kids with that too. I'm like, do you want me to call your dad? And they're like, no. Anyways.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
No.
I
think that's all.
Okay, wait.
What?
We should have said this at the top of the show. This is our new room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the new room. So we literally have just like random pieces of my life just
I love it.
Pinned up on the wall. That's my cowboy hat from Wyoming.
I need Jacob's bathtub photo behind me.
Yes, we're going to decorate it. Send us recommendations of what we should do. We thought about painting it white, but I'm kind of vibing the green or the wood.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of my favorite books right here. I don't know if it's even on screen. I'm going to see if the guys even noticed that I traded it out for...
That is funny.
Like very feminine. Birth books. Vaccine safety, productivity, the body keeps score. Health.
I've started that book.
The body keeps score.
Not started it so many times, but I've like picked it up a bunch of times.
It's
I'm sure it's great, but I'm like, if I'm going to read a book, I want to read the whole thing, and I'm still in the chapters on like medication, and that's not my personal jam. So I'm like, I got to get to the end. I just need to muscle through it. And I thought about just skipping, but my brain won't let me skip to the stuff I want to read.
I haven't finished it. Honestly, I haven't finished a book. I had a goal to finish 30 books in my 30th year. But then like the second year of motherhood was way harder than the first. And so I was like, and we moved twice.
And that's something you definitely don't tell a newborn mom. But when their baby is like 7 weeks old and they're not really sleeping, it's like, this is so hard. And I'm like, yeah, it is, buddy. Like, you're doing great. That's all. Just say you're doing great and move on.
Yeah.
But man, as soon as they're mobile and they have their own opinions.
Yeah.
It's great, but now you have to navigate another human being's opinion.
It's a wonderful thing, though, if you, like, release your expectations. For me. Yeah. Release your expectations of, like, today's going to be awesome. We're going to do X, Y, and Z because she really loved it yesterday. And then now she has no interest in sandboxes. And it's like, we loved this yesterday. What is happening? So it's just... really just going with the flow.
Yep.
Doing our best.
Just doing our best.
Yeah. Okay. We will see you guys next Monday.
Woohoo!
Did
you almost say bye?
Yes, and I simultaneously thought like we should have shirts that say bye, woohoo, or woohoo,
yes, we
bye.
should.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Cut.
Thanks for being with us today. Follow us on Instagram at @underthesun_podcast. We'd love to meet you.
Please help us out by subscribing on YouTube and leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time. Please remember this information is made available to you for informational and educational purposes only. It is in no way a substitute for medical advice.